Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the 2014 Balloon Fest demonstration by Lake Havasu Black Belt Academy, ATA affiliate. This morning, we're going to be demonstrating some synchronized forms, some weapon, board breaks, self-defense, other techniques that if you have questions, be sure to ask us afterwards. We'll be here available to encourage you in your own pursuits of training. We begin each class formally. This is a demonstration. We'll begin the same way, and I'll be commenting as we go. Academy, Juliet, Grenier. Sangam Spirit of Taekwondo. Ready? Teacher. Sir. Juliet. Grenier. It's a little bit nippy this morning, and we usually go through some warm-up exercises. So what we're going to do as a way of showing you some of our synchronized forms, plus giving our students an opportunity to loosen up the muscles, we're going to begin with Sangam Iljang. In Korean that means one, Sangam one, a white belt form, 18 moves in a straight line direction. Academy. Chun B for white belt form, and begin. I roll. We introduce a little bit of Korean to pay respects to the origin of Taekwondo. That's martial arts from Korea. Karate is martial arts from Japan. Kung Fu from China. Jiu-Jitsu has been popularized because of the Gracie brothers from Argentina. We're going to allow for our weapons demonstration, and awesome. If we'll clear the field here, we're going to give our students an opportunity to demonstrate some synchronized weapons. And so the weapon of choice at the moment is the staff, the bow staff. Demonstrating this morning will be second degree black belt Jacob Billings, first degree black belt Noah McCardle, and first degree black belt Kyle King. Gentlemen, if you want to be in the sun, it'll be a little bit warmer. I'm sure that things are going to be a little awkward. Lake Havasu Black Belt Academy is across the highway from the Community Aquatic Center, 349 South Lake Havasu Avenue. We train evenings from 4:30, Tuesday, Thursday, midday, 11 to noon. Saturday mornings is our emphasis on self-defense from 9 until noon. All levels, all ages, 3 until 103, could be. Our oldest student currently is 75, and I'm older than 21 myself. Okay. Juliet, Kunye, Chun B for weapons form. Ready, teacher.
Hey!
roll. And you're dismissed. I should mention, we're doing the same form, and they may be a little bit out of sync. We're not practicing for synchronization. We're practicing to know that we, each of us, can perform the form. So they don't generally practice together. They're all doing the same form, and they're working with each other to make it look that way. So it's not like, well, gee, they're a little bit off. They're doing exactly the same moves. And at competition, they're judged on how well they execute not only the moves, but also the sequence of the form. So, we like to encourage our tiny tigers with teaching breakaway and distraction techniques. So if I could have our tiny tigers and younger students. So we have, Tristan, if you would join them, you're looking there, about the right size, right age, and we need some heavy-duty bullies, and I know it's really tough. So Mr. Billings, and let's see, who else? Okay, let's have us line up so that the tiny tigers are facing their taller opponents. Mrs. Fresh, if you'll kind of, you get to face the sun, that way you're not hiding the good technique that they have. Okay, so let's go out. And so, Juliet, Cunye, and let's have our orange belts demonstrate first. So Jacob and Kristen, if you move to your left. Okay, this is a two-hand wrist grab. Oh yeah, you're coming with me. Yeah, you think? What are you going to do to get out of it there, Sky? Yeah? And then what? She's standing there. Go ahead. Okay. There he goes. It's one of the things that's very important is if you do break away, don't stay around. Okay, get out of there. They also making lots of noise. All right, so Mr. McCardle and Miss Taylor Wright. It's two-hand lapel grab. Okay, twist him, get him back. She's got him good. Take him to the ground, choke him out. 5 seconds, he'll be asleep. 15 seconds, you can probably do him in. All right, and gentlemen.
Will we do second degree?
Gentlemen, perform. Mr. Billings is performing a series of joint blocks that don't require a lot of strength, just skill and apply pressure in the right direction, and it's going to be there. And back to the side. Somebody might try from behind. Oh, there she goes. Kick to the head. Oh, elbow. She's going to clothesline and get out of there. This guy has fun learning how to break away. Oh yeah? Come with me. I got you. He knows how to get under her elbow.
Big tickle. Okay.
Just grab his shirt. Over and under. Yeah, kick it. And there he goes. One of the little tips that we recommend is if you're in trouble, don't yell help. Nobody wants to get involved, so they're going to say, I don't want to go there. However, especially out here, if you yell the word fire, where? I want to see it. So that's where we encourage the little kids to yell fire, because then everybody looks to see where it is, what's going on, and they're going to provide the help that they need. And on the right, turnabout is fair play. And there's a very quick grab over, and you notice that he's just, it's a come along. Okay, and if you would face your partner, here you are. Beignet. And this group is dismissed. And if we have our next group coming on, I think they want to use the mat, but this might, we're going to take them to the ground. Okay, conference. Face your partner. Good. Wish each other good skill. We shake hands to let them know that we're in training. We have no intentions of deliberately causing injury or pain. That may be a byproduct of some poor technique or a little enthusiasm. So, on what we're showing at the moment, and gentlemen, let's just, how about rotate 90 degrees? Okay. All right, here we go.
Back off.
Very quick. It's a wrist grab, lapel grab. Let's show that again. Strike to the radial nerve, release against the opposable thumb, knife hand to the brachial plexus tie-in, and body meets knee. Very effective. Two-hand choke.
Back off!
Okay. And if you go through it, I'll explain movements in slow motion, kind of. So, two-hand choke, strike to the nerve inside, right hand, back fist to the brachial plexus tie-in, knife hand again, grab, interlace, two knee strikes to the solar plexus, deflates, and always exit with a loud verbal command. Back off, get away, get down on the ground. Okay. And we have another technique to be demonstrated. In case you have someone punching at you, you are able to block, restrain, and do the dirty. And one more time. Deflect, lock up. You'll notice, and Mom, I think you already know that if you find the children right below the nose, they're going to go wherever you want. Okay. Got one more? Okay, face your partner. Well, okay, just a second. Oh, this is the lapel grab. Arm bar, wrist locks. Oh, there he goes. And on occasion, the uki, that's the Korean name for the trainer, gives a little more resistance and said, now you didn't do that right. Oh, yeah, now you did it right. Okay, face your partner. Cheer up. Good, yay. A little bit of respect, good skill. Thank you so much. And did we want to do the, Mr. Mitchell? We've just seen some breakaway techniques and some self-defense for typical situations of abduction, bullying, giving your lunch money kind of a thing. But the techniques can be learned, applicable for more real-life situations.
Thank you, Mr. Kress. Well, we're going to be demonstrating, this is the self-defense folks that train on Saturday mornings. We train from 9 o'clock until noon. We have an advanced class that goes from 9 to 10:30, and then from 10:30 to 12, we have a beginning class. So we have all levels of training for self-defense, and the difference between self-defense and the Taekwondo training that we do is self-defense is less concerned with the forms and some of the more formal aspects of karate. It's much more interested in combat. It's much more interested in what are practical techniques. It's not so much what's your stance. It's more what's practical and how can you engage somebody and be successful in taking whatever kind of attack is coming at you and deterring that. So a lot of the techniques that we do, there's some bleed over into Taekwondo, but what we're going to start off with is we're going to start with a little demonstration. I know that I have some Marines here, I think, that are wanting to help out with this demonstration. So if we could get, now who's I saw one big guy coming over here too with you guys. Well, I know we've got,
Mr. Granzo.
Yeah, the gentleman in the black.
Yeah.
Is he with all of you?
Yes, he is.
Does he hit harder than you guys?
Yes, very much.
Cool. All right, then we want to get him involved too. So do you want him to be like cleared up? You want to do it like that?
He's first.
Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you something about the way that you can train to take techniques. So I want the three gentlemen who want to participate in this to come on up here and help me out, because they get to hit me, and I'm not going to hit them back, but they are going to get a chance to hit me as hard as they can, okay? And my job is to, boy, he is big, isn't he? He looks mean. Okay, what do you think? Is he going to hurt me? No? You sure? You're supposed to try. Come on. Okay, what's going to happen here is I'm going to have these gentlemen hit me as hard as they can in the stomach, okay? And so who wants to be first? You coming up first? Okay. What they're going to do, and this is to show basically what can be done as far as training, because it's not so much how hard you hit, it's where you hit and what's your technique, okay? So this is a lot of what we focus on in martial arts, is how to maximize the technique that you're using, because you actually don't need a lot of force for some techniques, and some things are better to use than others. And so this is actually a fairly ineffective attack, to be really honest with you. I don't teach strikes to the stomach in my self-defense class, but I like to use them here. So, anyway, if somebody would hold the mic for me. Okay. Good, this getting get a good target. Oh, one thing too. These two young men, I think that you won something. Didn't you guys win something out here? Was it here or someplace else for hitting really hard? What did you guys win?
Did we win something, Mr.
Did they win something for hitting really hard at some point? Something
sure
from a
they did.
fair? You won some kind of a toy or something, a big animal, stuffed animal for hitting really, really hard? Mr. Didman warned me about that. Okay, so here we go. Ready? Okay, so this is as hard as you can, right there, okay? Right there. Hold that. Really hard. Is that it?
That's what you got.
Next. Okay, here's it. Hard as you can, right there. Right there. I know you can hit hard. Come on, you want an animal, right? Hard. You done? Next.
All right, Matt.
Okay. So, hard as you can, right here. No.
Hi, Mark.
Okay. See, now you want to shoot. I would let you do that, but the ribs and other things up here gets to be messy. Right there. That's why I said okay, a little lower. Okay, let's start. Hard as you can. Hard as you can. Really hard. Is that hard? Okay, thanks. Thanks for your help. Okay, this is basically to show you that these guys actually hit really hard. Did we get a hand for them? Because they actually, these guys like raising his hand. Wow, really? Yeah. The reality is these guys hit really hard. If they'd hit me someplace else, like he indicated, can I hit you about an inch further up? He's like, no, that's a good spot to hit. We want you to hit the bad spot, the place that I've trained to take those. And I actually can take solar plex shots too, but the reality is I prefer not to have my ribs broken, things that people kind of miss. So the reality is that these guys hit really, really hard. And if they were hitting the right area and doing it a little bit differently, they would have been really, really effective, because it definitely hurt. And I've been training since I was about 17 to take shots like that. So it doesn't really take that long, but you can do that sort of thing as well. Okay? So what I'm going to do is show you some basic techniques that we teach. This is some low-level technique. This is just about how do you get away from somebody who's like a real common attack that people have, or somebody grabs your wrist and they want to grab you, or they're holding you, or what have you. And one of the things we teach people is how to do a wrist escape. So go ahead, Buck, and Noah, go ahead and show them how that works. Okay? Now we're going to slow that down a little bit for you to show you how that works. Again, the reason why this works is Noah has him grab here, and what's going to happen is that as he circles his wrist, it comes against the thumb, and the thumb has to let go, because this is the weakest point in this technique. So again, show him again real quick. So when he twists really quick, he's able to get out of that. Now another real common attack is the wind up, like the sort of the roundhouse hook punch that comes in. This is a really nice response to that, because what happens is he's actually hitting a nerve bundle here that dazes him and gets him enough time to where he could actually run away and get away from him after striking that particular point. because it doesn't take a lot of energy on this point to daze someone, okay? And that's that particular technique, okay? Thank you, gentlemen. Very good. Noah, why don't you stay out? And who's one of your partners for one of your techniques? Do we want to do the gun takeaway? Mr. Wright, can we have you come on out? Thank you. Can you do the gun takeaway? Now this is a little bit more advanced technique. Now the first thing that you know, how many people have seen this kind of thing where somebody holds a gun to somebody's head and is threatening them? Okay. How many people think that that's really scary? Does anybody think that's scary?
It's scary.
Scary? Actually, if you know martial arts, the thing that you think is, God, thank you for sending me somebody who's stupid in the way that they use the gun, because this person has no idea about what they're really doing with a gun, okay? They're thinking they're going to intimidate you like this, and if I can touch your gun, I can take it away from you and kill you with it. And this is what's basically going to happen here with Noah. Noah's being held there, he's going to take the gun away, and he now is in control of the situation. Let's see that again really slowly. What's happening here is we have the assailant is got the gun in a position where if Noah hits him really hard here, this keeps him from being able to actually pull the trigger, because this neutralizes the trigger reflex here. At the same time, Noah, you have the gun back up here. At the same time, what Noah's doing is very similar to what happened with the wrist the takeaway with the wrist. He comes against the thumb like this, which causes the gun to release. At this point, he can either back up and have control of the gun and shoot him with it, or he can stay in close and elbow and pistol whip him with the gun. Either one, that's usually what we suggest, because we don't really know if this is a real gun, a fake gun, it's loaded, not loaded, it works well. We don't really want to have that problem. So usually we teach a pistol whip along with that. Okay, one other thing, what's the other technique we have you do know? Do we have to do with anything else? Okay, great. Thank you very much, John. Thanks, sir. Okay. Ladies, who wants to go first? Okay, Gabby? Gabby, if you stay out, please. Okay, a lot of things that we do also is women's self-defense. We like to make sure that the ladies know how to defend themselves. And there's a couple of different attacks that may come up that are a little bit uncomfortable. The first one we're going to show you is what happens if somebody tries to stab you with a straight, like, stabbing motion with a knife when they come in like this. Sir? Okay, one more time. Come on back up. We're going to slow this down for you so you can see what actually happened. Okay, what happened is David stepped forward. She comes around, gets an arm bar, strips the knife, takes him to the floor with that, and then she controls the knife. You cut the back of his hand, she can kick him in the head. She can do pretty much whatever she wants at that point, because she's now taking control of the knife, and she's taking him to the floor. Now, the really scary one is when somebody comes behind you, is holding you like hostage, okay? Now, the good news about being held hostage is that if they were trying to kill you, you'd probably already be dead, because this is a really deadly move. He's got the blade to her throat, it's on her carotid artery. All he's got to do is move that a fraction of an inch, and she's going to bleed out very quickly. So the first thing she has to do is think about, how do I get that knife away from my throat and take control of the situation? Gabby, whenever you're ready. Okay. Come on back up and let's see what happens. We're going to slow that down for you. The first thing that she did is she had to get the blade away from her throat. She does that by raising her arm and dropping her chin at the same time, which causes the blade, if you notice, if you're sitting here, you can actually see it. The blade comes away from the throat enough that he can't cut her any longer. At this point, she grabs the wrist, goes under the arm, goes into an arm bar, and she can either strip the knife, kick him in the head, cut the back of his arm, or the throat, whatever she chooses to do at that point, because she's now in control of the situation. All right. Thank you very much. And let's see, Brent, if you come out, you and Noah? Or, did you know practice, or you and Mr. Wright? You know? Okay, great. Okay, now this is another really common attack. How many people have ever had somebody grab their hair or do something like that? Well, usually a hair grab is a prelude to somebody hitting you in the face, okay? And so what's happening here is you can see Noah's in a position where he's about to hit her in the face, and what she does is she covers up and is able to take the ground. Do that one more time. Your own speed. Okay, back up. And let's slow that down so you can actually see what's taking place. The first thing that's happening is as he grabs the hair and winds up, she grabs the hand and she controls the arm by bringing her elbow over the top of his arm, gets it a wrist lock and an arm bar, drives him into the floor, and at this point, again, she's in a position where she can kick him in the head or do whatever she wants once he's on the ground. Okay. And the other technique is like if somebody does a front choke. Now this is again a really ineffective choke. First of all, this isn't a really good choke, but this is a really good technique of what to do when somebody tries it. Okay? Let's show you what that is a little bit slower. You missed on that, fella. Okay, so what we're looking at here, I know, try to get back in character. Okay, so here we go. So now what happened here is what the first thing she did is she raised her arm and crossed him up. So now he can't really do much. He's all caught up here, but her elbow's free, so she can go up and run her elbow right up those arms into the side of his neck and then throw him down on the ground, or like you said, just watch him stumble away as she runs the other direction. Okay, very good. Good setup. There's one other. And thank you very much. Very good. Now this is our self-defense class. If you want to learn things, we do a lot more than this. We do everything from advanced techniques to some real basic things. We had some young ladies here yesterday who just started. They've done 2 lessons, and one of them came in, and we do this too. Also, we have people come in and they say, "Hey, I got this happening at school." Her situation was is people would run down the hall, slam them in the lockers, and push their books out of the way and do things like that. And we said, "Well, look, if you did this, this, and this could work." They came back the next week and said, "That worked really good. They don't do that to me anymore." So those are the kinds of things that we work with. Thank you for your attention, and Mr. Fresh, it's back to you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Mitchell. First degree black belt, American Taekwondo, 3 black belts, and other styles. So, we train, and then we have fun. We don't hit people usually. And I'd like to have an opportunity for us to demonstrate technique and power as we're going to break plastic rebreakable boards. The color indicates that there is a particular strength to that board. The strongest board we brought today was the brown board. And it's those that want to break a board, they'll kind of line up here. Mr. Wright and I are going to hold for them. If we use pine, you generate a lot of kindling and it wastes a lot of resources. But pine boards are more forgiving. You hit anywhere along the grain, it's going to break. And Mr. Wright, if you'll kind of just take that apart and show that we've got different length fingers that give us an opportunity to control the difficulty of the break. So that's what we're going to try at this point. Let's see here, we've got to readjust this, I think. Okay, tail right is going to kick. Awesome job. And, okay, Sky. He's gonna punch it.
All the way through. Go, Sky!
All right. That demonstrates another one of the benefits of martial arts. You keep on going. You don't quit. If first you don't succeed, try again. So.
Max. Max. Hey.
Mr. Wright is going to attempt a palm heel strike to the equivalent of a 7-inch board. Goes back together. Kick. And Mr. Wright, if you'll get a hammer fist ready on the brown board for Mr. Billings. But I think, he's no pad. He's like, okay, we try to get his adrenaline going a little bit. On occasion. Let's hear it for our septuagenarian. Doug, can I tell people that you're 75? Oh. And he's 1 belt away from a black belt. Mr. Wright is going to do an axe kick. Okay. Mr. King is going to do an axe kick at Mr. Wright.
This is to demonstrate if someone was attacking me and I wanted to hit him on the top of the head.
Anybody think that's an easy board to break? Tommy? You want to try this one? Come on. Mr. Wright will hold it for you. Come on.
Tommy, you used
Okay.
to do this. Come on.
Okay.
Woo!
Okay, let's do it. Left hand, the southpaw. Do it. All right. Okay. Who else? Okay, Mr. McCardle.
He used to be one of us too.
All right, here we go.
Go ahead.
What you gonna do there, Mr. McCardle? Okay. Elbow. Elbows are very effective. Okay, he's gonna do a horizontal elbow strike. And then we'll adjust the board. Awesome job. Mr. McCardle? All right. That's called a speed break. Not only do you have to be accurate, but you have to be fast. Come on.
Look at her little balloons on her cheeks. Huh? Her balloons on her cheeks.
All right.